Starting the stream.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Nintendo Dads episode 187, recorded today, July 5th, 2018. On tonight's episode, we are going to discuss all the news such as new amiibo coming to Smash, GameStop reveals that Switch sales doubled, duh, and Kimishima says, hey, we're going to tell you more later. We promise, in a Nintendo Direct. Plus, special guest, Nintendo brand ambassador, and YouTube streamer Abdallah is joining us. So, guys, let's kick this off. Jesse, cue the music.
All
right, here we go. Hey, guys, welcome to Nintendo Dads on the day of July 5th, 2018. This is Marty, and joining me tonight are three of the finest Nintendo guys. I almost said guru, but then he would get offended. But Nintendo dads, Nintendo guys on the internet. Justin Masson, how the heck are you, man?
Whew, I am doing all right. It is smoking hot here in Ireland this morning. We've been having, believe it or not, I'm going to give you a bit of Irish baseball here, or I guess inside baseball in Ireland. We are in a heat wave. We have not had rain on the island for almost 3 weeks. And the grass is no longer green, it's like brown. And it is like sweating hot here.
How hot is it? Let's don't use any of that weird metric system stuff. We got to have it in Celsius.
Okay, currently it's 16 degrees Fahrenheit, which I believe is
what?
16 degrees Fahrenheit?
That would be Celsius.
Or Celsius. Sorry, Celsius. Listen, hey, it's also 4 a.m., so back up, all right? It's supposed to be 25, 27. I think it's like 90 for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're right there with you in the South. We're frying eggs on the sidewalk out here.
Yeah, it is wicked hot, but it is fantastic, and I am happy to be here as always.
Well,
go ahead.
Speaking of wicked hot and fantastic, Jesse Waldack from VGTribune.com. How are you, man?
Good. The chat just noticed that I shaved.
It's
like I said, wicked hot and fantastic.
Mm-hmm. That is a baby face if I have ever seen one.
And that is why it's literally been like 15 years since I shaved it off.
And that's all because of the amazing support at patreon.com for meeting our Jesse Shave Your Beard goal.
And that is completely not true.
No, it's not, but we should do that.
Yeah. And guys, let's welcome our special guest to the show tonight from the realm of YouTube. AbdallahSmash, I believe, is your YouTube handle, if I'm wrong. Correct this.
Absolutely.
How are you doing tonight?
I am doing very well. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very, very, very pleased to be here. So,
can I just say that I love your jacket. I know that people listening are not going to hear this or not going to be able to see it, but
I know.
Man, that is fantastic.
It is a very cool one. It was a very special gift from E3. So I hope that these things can be like easily obtainable other than just knowing the right people.
Yeah. I think you also have to be a relatively slender man, such as yourself, to wear that appropriately.
Could be.
I think a
yeah,
lot
I was thinking they probably don't make that in my size.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, you have to look at the tag
Probably
and see if it says Dad Bod. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Hashtag Nintendo Dad Bod. Well, guys, let's move on with the show. Justin, Jesse, Abdallah, time to get into some news, right?
Let's do it.
So why don't we take it away?
Absolutely.
all right.
And Justin, our news is brought to us by who?
Brought to us by the fine, amazing, almost 100 supporters on patreon.com for Nintendo Dads. And that's right, we have amazing support, of course, over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dad. For as little as $1 a month, people throw us a bit of scratch, and we help keep the show lights going and keep this thing ad-free. So, guys, thank you so much for everything. For your support in that. And as an FYI, we have got some major updates and major announcements coming in the next couple of weeks. You guys need to stay tuned. There are some changes happening in Nintendo Dad, all good things, and we are super excited, and only because of the amazing support from Patreon to patreon.com. So again, I'm teasing that a bit, but it's fantastic. That's it and all.
Yeah. Thanks, Justin. So let's get into some of our top stories tonight. I don't know if you guys knew this, but a few weeks ago at E3, Nintendo teased a new game coming. Some people say it's not a new game. Some people say it is. I think it's called Super Smash Brothers. right? Yeah, just
small little
like
indie title.
Yeah, small indie
bit.
title. But actually, in all fairness, Nintendo revealing the new Super Smash Brothers for Switch is coming. Of course, the hype is real. Every character except Waluigi is available. And with the news of all of those new characters coming, one of the first things that Nintendo revealed was that Ridley and Inkling Girl would be getting their own amiibo. Of course, we've had an Inkling Girl amiibo before, but Ridley having an amiibo for the first time. Now news coming out this week that all of the new characters, Snake, Ice Climber, Pokemon Trainer, Pichu, Wolf, will be getting their own amiibo as well. I want to get y'all's thoughts on this because it seems like just like when the amiibo fires had died down, right? Nintendo slides them in on us again. Now, Abdallah, I'm going to throw it over to you first. First things first, I want to know, are you excited about these new amiibo? Are you going to get them? And what do you think? I mean, is this like wave one, or is this, are they just going to do these, or are we getting re-releases as well? What do you think?
All right. Well, I'm a huge amiibo fan. I have every single amiibo, even like extra Japanese ones that were unreleased over here. So I believe that this is going to be exactly like Wave 1, with everyone hyped up about it. But now that we've got at least 2 years of amiibo collecting and purchasing under our belts, we're a little bit more experienced on that. And I believe so is Nintendo. So they're definitely going to allocate a lot more product out there to people so that we don't have to worry about scalpers or paying $30 or $40 for a $13 toy. I'm really excited for it. I mean, I've got a whole wall of new inbox amiibo. I typically buy 2 of them, one to display and one to play. So I'm really hoping that, Nintendo doesn't really, I guess, like think of amiibo as like an afterthought, which kind of has been like I don't want to say like all the new games now are just not really putting amiibo support on it. I'm just saying that I want there to be more incorporation on it, other than just here's a pretty cool Nintendo toy.
Yeah. And you're right. I think that what we've seen from amiibo lately is it's just been like, oh yeah, this might be a good one to throw an amiibo on, right?
Right.
And it's kind of become an afterthought. I mean, there are some cool sets out there, but like the last one that really just grabbed my attention was the Samus and Metroid 2-pack, that came out with Samus Returns.
Yeah.
Like that one, like those sculpts, the way those amiibos were made, that's when, like, you look at those and you look at those.
Amiibo.
Yeah, the squishy
squishy.
amiibo.
Sure.
You look at that versus like, Wave 1 Marth, and you say, oh, how far we've come, right?
Right.
And that's kind of like the height of where Nintendo has taken these toys, these collectibles, whatever you want to call them. But it's almost like the fan demand has cooled. I mean, we've seen. I don't know if you've seen score after score of pictures of people inside, dilapidated Toys R Us that are going out of business, and
Sure.
It's like racks of Ness amiibo, racks of Palutena, racks of the Mii fighters. Justin,
Sure.
you bought some amiibo. You like a few amiibo, I guess. I don't know. I got the whole Smash set, and so this is kind of upsetting that now I'm going to have to buy extras because I'm kind of out. Like I'm kind of done. I will buy one if it's really cool. Like Ridley, I'm in for Ridley, right? The Mega Man 11 amiibo that's coming with that game, I'm in for that. But I don't know about a whole new wave of Smash amiibo. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I for myself for amiibo and especially Smash, like once you realized that they were doing the entire line, I was like, no, I am not committing to buying all of that, but I will commit to the ones that I enjoy or pick up. Right. So, I mean, I think I'll definitely. I'm not a huge Ice Climber fan, but I want to see how they do that one. I think that's really interesting. I think the Ridley one definitely has my attention, and of course, I mean, let's think about it. Snake, Capcom. Konami, I apologize, Konami, and we're going to have an amiibo for Snake, right?
So the question is, will it or will it not have a butt?
I mean, that could be it. Or is it just or is it just a cardboard box on an amiibo stand? That's what I'm questioning.
There you go.
I'm all for that. Just repurpose the Box Boy amiibo.
Yeah, exactly. Just paint it brown.
There you go.
Now, interestingly enough, I was reading that in Japan they are actually doing reprints of the amiibo. Starting in December, they're going to do a huge line, a first wave, and then in January, a second wave of reprints. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that impacts us here.
You know,
well.
Here's the deal, like about that, like some of those original sculpts, like the Mario, from Smash with the fireball and everything. If they redid that in like Fire Mario colors and it went on sale, I might buy it. Like, if we got a very limited release of some characters, but there's some of those sculpts that are so simplistic that if they did that, it's just like if they did Kirby or Jigglypuff in another color, like if they really did some of those like alternate costumes or alternate colors or things like that, I think that would be maybe do like a gift set. Of course, that always appeals to the American market, right? Sell it through GameStop, sell it through Walmart, do a Black Friday gift set of Amiibo to coincide. It's like, so Smash is out December. Here's some upcoming. You can use these in Smash, or you can use them Wii U. Hey, remember your Wii U?
Right.
Jesse, now you had some, and you still have some Amiibo
Yep.
over there, on your little World 1-1 base. Are you in for more Smash Amiibo?
I'm like Justin, and then I'll treat this the way I treated the original ones 2 years ago. Is I'll just get the ones that interest me. So I think Snake, maybe definitely Ridley. I might get Ice Climbers as a joke gift for my son because he's not a Ice Climber fan.
Yeah.
When he saw that announcement during the E3, he goes, "Oh no!" Before he realized what they were doing.
I was thinking when you were saying this, Justin, that how would they? You just want to see how they're going to do some of these. I would love it if they did the Pokemon Trainer one as a larger scale amiibo, like Detective Pikachu, and maybe had more room for all of those Pokemon there.
Yeah.
And then who was the one that you mentioned? Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers. Yeah, Duck Hunt Dog. They did that one on the same thing. The thing is that these are going to be interesting to see because they're not I don't feel like they're going to be like run of the mill Smash Amiibo because Nintendo has really upped their game in production of these things now. So they're gonna be a lot more detailed. They're going to be a lot better put together. I think they're going to be some pretty fantastic sculpts.
Yeah. Abdallah, let me ask you this. You had an opportunity to play Smash over at E3. I'd love to hear what you think of it and what your feelings are on it. Are you hyped for it? Is this one of your main games? Are you excited for it? Or are you like me, who knows it's going to come and you're just going to play it anyways? And also, which of the amiibos are you looking forward to the most?
That's a very good question. All right, so I played a lot of Smash. I was, thanks to Nintendo, I was invited to the Invitational and the VIP section of the Invitational where they had...
rub it in a little bit further, would you?
Right, I had to. Anyway, so yeah, there was at least 5 or 6 stations where you can just free play, and that's all we were doing. It's like, forget about, Zero winning the tournament in the background, or forget about Splatoon World Championships in the background. No, we were here to play Smash free play. So... we were able to do that, and I got a lot of time with it. I recorded a lot of content for my channel, and it's just overall a great game. If you guys have played Smash 4, you guys are already, ahead of the game. Now, a lot of people are on it's a port with slight changes boat, and then Nintendo is reassuring everyone because the negative image of the word port. They're like, well, it's not a port. It's, made from ground up with all new animations and this and that. It kind of almost feels like a Smash 4.5, maybe a 4.75. It doesn't feel like a real new game. So a lot of people are kind of tied between both of that. I'll be right in the middle with it. From playing it's like Smash 4. There's no doubt about it. It plays exactly like Smash 4. So I'm not really seeing how it could be like a brand new one, but at the same time, we don't have all the details. We don't know if there's going to be a story mode. We don't know if there's going to be something brand new about it other than every single character in there. So it's a really fun game. I'm going to be hyping it. I'll be playing it on my channel. And then you said, what amiibo am I most looking forward to? I think Ridley, of course. I think that goes without saying. I mean, it's probably going to be huge. It's going to be very detailed, just like the Samus ones that you guys mentioned earlier. So yeah, ultimately I'm going to end up collecting 2 of each of all the brand new amiibo just to fill up my amiibo collection, and it's going to be very expensive on the wallet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ultimately, does it really matter if it's a port or not? Because when the community moves over to it, if you want to play, you got to move over with it, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Like,
That's exactly it.
I mean, the port conversations always irritate me, right? It's like this, saber rattling for weeks as we roll up to it, and everyone's like, "I'm not going to get it because it's a port," and then like
Right.
the day the game comes out, you bend to its will and you go get it, right? Like, and I guess port or not, let's boil the question down to: is it fun and enjoyable, right? Like
Yes.
that's why we game.
That's it.
That's why we do things. That's my opinion. A little bit of a rant. One last question about Smash before we transition off. Who's your main?
Who do I main in Smash Bros? Well, I main Mario because
keeping it old school.
pretty. Yeah, he's very old school. He's been around since the first one. He's got a very cool play style. But I'm really liking Inkling. Inkling's a very, very cool play style. Inkling's very fast and very technical too, because you got to know how to manage your ink.
Okay.
So that you don't run out of it, and at the same time you've got to ink your opponent so you do additional damage. So that's a very cool technical character I'm looking forward to playing as.
Did you get a chance to play on the Moray Towers with Inkling?
I did.
How was that?
And it's pretty fun. It was pretty fun, just using the little ink roller up and down the little staircases and using whatever the up B, like Inkling jump or whatever. It was fun. It's a fun one.
Nice. Awesome. Marty, what do you got next there, buddy?
Okay, so go ahead, Jesse.
I wanted to quickly throw out there. Earlier, you said that you'd like to see some color variants in the reprints of Amiibo.
Yeah,
I think especially the Pokemon community would like a shiny color variant in their Pokemon.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
What if they did blind boxes?
Oh no, we don't want to go there with Amiibo.
Blind box Amiibo makes it even worse.
Yeah, but
blind box Pokemon Amiibo.
Yeah, if they did shiny coloring, I'm sure my son would pick up some for himself.
Love it.
Nice.
Love it.
And
they're sitting on a gold mine. I mean, either way, right?
Yeah.
So also this week, GameStop was talking about post E3 sales and everything, and revealed that the Nintendo Switch sales at GameStop doubled after Nintendo's E3 announcement. Now, this also comes on the heels of Nintendo's stock being down almost 30% since the start of the year. It also comes along with the news that new President Shintaro Furukawa has a 96.51% approval rating as he is in the first months or first little bit of him taking office. And also Kimishima revealing that Nintendo will reveal its full fall lineup at a later time to be discussed, and obviously by Nintendo Direct. All right. And the reason I bundle all these together is I think all of these kind of feed each other, right? You've got GameStop, who is singing the praises of the Switch and has been since it came out. But then you have investors and everyone else, looking at 30% and saying, oh, doom and gloom, Nintendo's doomed, blah, blah, blah. And then you also, in the middle of this, you have this new president. Justin, I'm interested, so what you think about this, because, usually you're able to help us make heads or tails of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is the business, right? It's the business of a large scaled company. I think obviously the 97% approval rating. I was hearing someone say earlier on some website or looking at a website that they're even your new president has even a little bit of a look of Satoru Iwata. And so some people are even saying that that might help his approval rating in some way. He looks he's younger, looks a little less old. Looks less old is a bad statement there, but a little bit younger, a little more youthful. Has been playing the games, grew up on the games. Right, he's 46, very much similar to our ages in some ways. Well, some of us at least. And has, you're welcome, and it has that kind of investment in the games. I think from the stock perspective, dropping. I think that's very interesting, but I think odd at the same time, because that happens after E3. It's the idea of it's when you have Sony who rolls and says, here's what we're going to show you. We're going to show you everything we're doing for the next 2 years and get hyped about these things, where Nintendo comes in and parcels it in a smaller package that doesn't have the same level of necessarily huge hype spikes as they don't show them a 2-year plan. They show them a 3-month plan or a 6-month plan. And I think that creates, from an investor's perspective, when you look over the board over at Sony, what Microsoft is doing, And of course, this is parceled with data analytics of what's trending and all this kind of stuff that, gee, maybe Nintendo doesn't have everything that we need it to be, and we're worried about the future. When the reality is that you don't need to worry about Nintendo's future because they just don't tell you everything. And then, of course, then rolls into what Kimishima statement is like, yeah, we don't tell you everything. We're going to tell you more later. And that's what Nintendo does incredibly well, is they parcel their message and bundle and package it when they want to, when they control the message. And I mean, they have the ability to go out. I mean, they could drop a direct here and say like, hey, tomorrow we're going to have a direct and we're all going to be at the edge of our seat and we're going to watch it. And they're going to be like, we didn't tell you this three weeks ago because we didn't want to, and we're not ready, but now we're ready. And we want that hype cycle to be smaller. When you roll over to the GameStop perspective, of course they're going to double. You showed everything about Smash. Everyone's hyped. And by the way, Pokemon's coming out, right? Like that's, and I mean, and maybe parcel on top of that. Did we announce that Fortnite was there? Right? You bundle those three games together. I mean, obviously Fortnite being the biggest game talked about right now around the world, right? Hitting into mainstream. You have Smash, which we know will help sell units. Now, Smash doesn't move units as much as something like a Zelda or a Mario, but it will help. And then, of course, Pokemon will do that as well. So, coming in from GameStop perspective, I think it's logical as well. So it's different I think the contradiction there is fan hype versus the market reaction or investor reaction. And I think I would always go with, now I'm not the one writing checks, but I would always go for fan hype more than I would anything else. But Abdallah, what do you think of all this kind of like bundled up information?
Oh man, I kind of wish that Nintendo had like a little bit more than just 3-month kind of a plan. I do, because it's easier to plan that way. But I get exactly what you're saying, and there's no changing it. Yeah. So I still don't understand though. Like if you take a look at Nintendo stock right now, it's floating around $40, but yet they have their inside investors are saying that they're going to double, very, very soon, if not within like a year, up to like 80 something bucks. Yep. So, I mean, like, what's going on with that? They obviously are holding back some crazy information. The holiday season is going to be insane with all of their titles, Smash Bros, Pokemon, you name it. It's going to be insane. So, like, I'm just waiting to find out, what's going to happen. There's a lot of good things happen now. So.
I actually read earlier today on a thread somewhere that they were talking about this, and they were saying it's not uncommon to see in any company for when profits soar really high, for there to be a rebound of stock lowering after that, because it's almost like a cause and effect. Profits soar, so stock rebounds low to recover because you can't stay at that peak forever, right? But what I hate about this is because to the uneducated person, and I don't mean to say that in a bad way, but to people who don't understand that, or people who aren't in the stock market like myself, we see Nintendo stock down 30% and we go, oh my gosh, what's going on? And we look and we see, the Switch is still, it's rolling, it's steady, but so there's a little bit of contradiction to that in a way, right? But I think the main thing to focus on is that if you look at this and you look at what's coming, there is a promise from the outgoing president of there's more that we haven't told you about. It's coming, right? And that's huge. I mean, and that's not taking the lid off anything. That's not a leak. That's nothing more than Nintendo carefully priming the hype train, right? Yeah. Because that's what they're doing. In fact, it would not surprise me at all if they had said to him, "Hey, why don't you say that?" Yeah,
I mean, I would argue that I think as much as we maybe shake our fists, pull our hair, and scream at Nintendo sometimes, they are I believe a master at marketing and controlled message. They know when to say, what to say at the right marks. And I think, again, when you look at something like PlayStation and Xbox, who look at E3 as the event, right? This is the thing we build to. Nintendo has the ability at any time to say, we already have that line, right? I mean, they're not even there in person other than the events, right? But they don't have a main stage. Let's just show you the direct, right? And I mean, we've got Gamescom coming up here in about 6 weeks over here in Germany, but over in Germany. You've got other events coming up. I mean, they can release it anywhere. But Adal, I'm going to ask you this: what do you like if Nintendo tomorrow's like, hey, by the way, we've got a direct, We're going to tell you our fall lineup. What are you hoping is in there?
Our fall lineup. Well, fall's already jam-packed, man.
Right.
You've got Smash in September. You've got the Let's Go Pikachu coming out as well. It's like I'm okay with just that, to be honest.
Yeah.
You throw like a small title here and there, I'm okay. And just like push everything back to next year, man. There's just too much happening.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, that's going to be the holiday seller. Everyone's going to want Smash Bros. Everyone's going to want Let's Go Pikachu. So, I mean, I don't care if they push back the new Fire Emblem game that no one's even heard about anymore. Push that back to 2019. Animal Crossing, everyone and their moms wants it, right? But now I don't think is the time for it. I honestly don't. So, you know, push it all back to 2019. Let us focus on what we have right now. Octopath Traveler, Captain Toad, Mario Tennis. You know, there's a lot happening right now, and I think that it's okay if we just settle with Smash.
I think there's this point
exactly.
that people have reached where it's like, if Nintendo is not publishing a first party title, then something must be wrong. But then I look at my like backlog of games and I look at games that they've got coming out that I'm going to add to that. And you look at like Octopath has what they've said, like 90 to 100 hours, right?
Yeah.
Of content. People aren't even talking about the fact that Okami HD is coming out. You know, people are going to or snap that up. Captain Toad's coming out, and they're like, oh, nothing's coming out till October, because you've got plenty to play, right? Indies and third parties are going to help Nintendo stay afloat until October. Let them take some time to develop some games. I mean, like, sure, they dropped Mario Odyssey in the first year, but how long had it been in development? You know, Smash, Let's Go Pikachu, and all these other games. Man, like last year's Black Friday holiday sales, all that are going to be nothing compared to what Nintendo does this year, because now you've got parents who are looking at this. It's an assured seller. They know that the support's there, right? It's not another flash in the pan. It's not Wii U. It's not a dud. You know, maybe the DS is getting old, and now it's time to move up, you know, to the big boy system. And you've got now you have the ability to have Mario, Zelda, Mario Kart, Pokemon, Smash, all of them there. You know, and it would not surprise me in the least if Nintendo hits this holiday and releases with some kind of bundle, you know, that's just and I'm not talking about like the big box retailers putting it together. I'm talking about Nintendo putting together a bundle, like even just a Breath of the Wild or a Mario Odyssey bundle again.
Oh, sure.
You know, that maybe special Joy-Cons, it goes to a specific retailer or whatever. But quite honestly, I would love to see them do a Pokemon bundle with Pokemon-themed Joy-Cons. I think it would sell like gangbusters. I don't know that Smash would, again, like Justin was talking about. I don't know that that's necessarily an attach rate system. I think it's a boost for the ones that are already there. But if they did Pokemon, one white controller, one red controller, come on.
Right.
Come on. I mean, in other words, what we're saying, if you're listening to this, is there's really nothing to be concerned about. You know,
no.
It's not like, this is not Nintendo Armageddon or anything. It's a new president. It's a new outlook on the company. Let that settle out. Let the boat stop rocking. It's going to continue.
One thing I've noticed over the years, not just Nintendo, but many large companies, is they put out announcement of any kind, favorable reception, not so favorable reception, either way, the stock drops. I don't know why. I'm not an analyst, but it seems like, you know, like WWDC and Apple, you know, the stock drops a little bit. But the thing is, over time, it always corrects itself.
Yeah,
we see that time and time again. So, you know, if it goes down a little bit, I'm not too worried, because I'm sure it'll go back up. We saw the overinflation went 2 years ago when Go was launched. Of course, that corrected itself pretty quickly. So
Could you imagine
it always corrects itself.
Yeah, whoever it was that said, actually, no, the Pokemon company is separate from Nintendo, and everyone's like, don't say that. Stock.
Right. Well, guys, I think we have hit that from all angles. Let's move on to some kind of quick fire topics here.
Sure.
And we'll just kind of go around the horn and talk about these. Octopath Traveler this week got a 36 out of 40 from Famitsu, which basically means it's pretty dang near perfect.
Abdallah, how are you feeling about this one? I mean, I've watched a lot of your content. Would you be streaming Octopath Traveler? Is that kind of your audience?
Yeah, I'm definitely planning on it. At least doing like a 1 hour preview of it. The thing I like about that the most is that the development team is really on board with listening to the feedback. And whenever a game company does that, that is so humbling, and that just, I'm going to instantly buy the game because of that. They released like a beta version for the demo to download, and people, gave them the feedback, and they asked for the feedback, and then they went through and they changed it up. They implemented changes that everyone wanted to see, and they re-released a demo for it. That's beautiful. That's how you make a really, really good game, and I'm excited for it. I can't wait. I'm going to be playing it on my channel, so
nice.
It's going to be great.
I love the fact that it takes me back to Final Fantasy 3. SNES, Final Fantasy 3. It looks so much like I was watching even when the Switch launched, and that was in the trailers. I was like, oh, I've got that like wave of nostalgia, playing Final Fantasy 3 all over again.
It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think I've pretty much decided that I'm not going to pick it up right now. Simply because I have too much backlog to cut through. I've got Octo expansion I haven't even started. Donkey Kong DLC for Mario and Rabbids. I've played like the first fight, the first map on it. I've got games that I have review codes for that I'm working through, and it's just like I need to save some money. Backlogs there, and I know I'm getting Mega Man X Legacy Collection later this month, so Octopath is going to have to wait.
There you go.
Justin, are you getting this?
I always feel like I'm the bad person because this is typically not in my genre, right? And I need to go back, and so I grabbed the demo when it came out, the first one, because everyone was excited for it, and I could not get into it. It didn't grab me in any way. And here's the deal. Like we all know, I'm not a huge RPG fan. And even in some ways a JRPG fan. So I'm just like, I'm going to download the demo again, the new one.
I know Primrose's Adventure was pretty chatty. I don't know how the other ones are.
Yeah. And I'm going to have another crack at it and see, is it me? And I think this is a lesson for everyone out there. Just because a game isn't for you doesn't mean that it sucks, right?
Right.
and also not every game is for you, and that's okay, right? So I like when I hear people, Abdallah, you talking about it, and everyone else is kind of hyped for it. I definitely want to give it a shot and a crack, but I also realize that it may not be for me. So I'm kind of I'll give the demo a shot.
Yeah, that second demo gives you basically the first 3 hours for free. And if you do choose to buy it, then that demo progress does carry over.
Which is brilliant.
That's awesome.
I love the fact they did that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's right. I hope that, and I don't know how difficult that is, but I would hope that. Anyway, well, didn't we? We very rarely see demos that carry over any stuff, right? Let me think. The Mario Tennis one did, right? Did you get a free outfit for playing?
Yeah, you got a free outfit. I mean, it's not the standard right now.
No.
I don't think. It should be. It definitely
they did it a lot with 3DS demos, and then it kind of stopped for a while.
Yeah.
But definitely something easy to do. They just have to, look for a different save state, but they know what the file name is because they wrote the game.
Sure.
They just got to look for it.
I was gonna say with demos, I mean, it's like a catch-22. You can either give the audience a little taste of what game you're trying to work on, but at the same time, you put yourself at risk of data miners to uncover everything about the game with, whatever text you left inside the demo. That happened with Pokemon every single time. So are we going to get a demo of a new Pokemon game? Probably not, simply because people want their 10 minutes of fame of, oh, look, I data mined this. I have all the secrets. Here you go. I mean, it's so annoying. I hate that so much.
Jesse, do we even need to ask if you're going to get this game?
I am going to get it, and I haven't played the second demo yet. But I do remember I mentioned before that after the first demo, I was still meh on it. So, but
Okay.
this is something I will be getting. Whether I get to play it right away or not, I don't know because I'm backlogged just as you are.
Yeah.
And I've been I started playing.
Yeah, I think
another game.
definitely
we'll talk
before
about
I
later.
get it. Definitely before I get it, I'm going to have to play through that demo, knowing that the first 3 hours transfers over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that way, like, I feel by like 3 hours into an RPG, you pretty much know whether you're going to continue to play it or not, right?
Yeah, that was the problem I had with like Dragon Quest Builders. Is I played the demo, and when I got the full game, none of it carried over, and it just drained the desire to play of it because I didn't want to play through that first 2 hours again.
Yeah, and there was
At
no
least-
sense for that.
right.
That like that should have carried over.
Demos are challenging, right? They've got to grab you the right way, right?
That's
And I think, Captain Toad is a great example of that recently, right? I mean, they gave you the 3 levels, and that was kind of it. And it was thanks for playing, but enough to understand: is this format of game something that interests you? Does it provide you the challenge enough? Does it provide you 2-player depth enough? And then we're saying, okay, there you go, and hope you enjoy it. And I think that when demos done right, it can definitely help the sales, and other times it's definitely challenging. But Marty, let's transition to our next thing.
Absolutely. So, Justin, you'll enjoy this. Little history here. Justin is our 3DS apologist here on the Nintendo Dads. If you're listening for the first time, you'll know that he is single-handedly working to be sure that everyone continues to love and appreciate their 3DS. And realize that it is a force for good and not a force for ruining development for other Switch games. But this week, Reggie Fils-Aimé said in an interview that 2DS and 3DS is being marketed now by Nintendo, aimed at parents with young children. Now, before you say this, I'm going to say this as the person on the show besides Zach, who is like, kill it, burn it with fire. Here's what I'm going to say. I think this is brilliant. And I think this is exactly what they need to do with it. This is what we've been talking about, right?
Yes.
That this is, you're not ready for a Switch, but here you go.
This is exactly it, right? This is Nintendo finally taking a little bit of a step in that direction and helping to channel again. I talk about messaging. This is what they're doing. They're basically saying, raising the pitchfork and saying, "What about the children?" And someone goes, "Right. Yeah, let's give them those things, and those won't impact these things." And everyone was happy, right? And that's exactly it. I think that the 2DS and the 3DS are fantastic family devices. And actually, I believe it was Nintendo of Japan just this week announced 3 new DS skin variants. One being, I believe, Tamagotchi Life. No, Animal Crossing. Sorry,
Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, which is the laziest of the 3.
Red and black.
And the freaking Minecraft version. Oh my gosh.
Skin.
It looks so good.
Yeah, exactly. That I bet you kids would love.
Oh yeah,
Kids
my
would
son
love.
flipped out when he saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You're not getting it."
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Number one, it's probably never coming over here because Nintendo likes to port over new 2DS and 3DS colors. And like it's like God's gift to the Nintendo community. Oh, you want the white and orange 3DS or 2DS? Go ahead and buy the black and blue one, and then we'll bring it over.
Well, I mean, I do think what you're going to see is that Nintendo has said we have more Nintendo 3DS games and announcements. You're going to see that these games that they're going to be announcing will be probably more kid-centric, more aimed at that base, right? We saw Yokai Watch announced recently again last week, I believe it was. So I think that's 2 thumbs up from Abdallah.
There we
I'm
go.
so excited about it.
That's the one, man.
Right. So
Love that.
I do. Wario's demo is out today.
Is it really?
I believe it's on the eShop, or on the 3DS eShop. Not yep. So
Time to
again,
dust
I
off
think
3DS.
Yeah.
Right?
Here's the thing.
That's
Yeah. Here's the thing. You're telling me that you want the thing dead, and I said there's a new demo, and you're like, wait, where's my 3DS? I need to start downloading
Because
that.
that's a game I care about.
Oh yeah. See, the problem is that you're just a hypocrite about what's being cared about.
The thing is I want them to put the games I care about on the system I care about.
No.
That's with me all the time. Abdallah, do you play your 3DS?
I don't play my 3DS. Not anymore. Unless there's a game. The last 3DS game I played on it was what? Detective Pikachu. That was a fun game. I loved that. But that was it. Yeah.
I never finished that one.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh,
are you a
yeah.
bel- are you a believer, Abdallah, they need to kill this thing, or do you believe, like a logical, sane person, that there is space for 2 devices to live, filling
Leading the
different
witness.
marketplaces?
Here's the
Sir.
thing. Here's the thing. I love the 3DS, and I love that you were talking about that they're marketing it to parents. That makes perfect sense. I am also on the same spectrum that have you guys ever heard of the game called The Snack World? Japanese exclusive. You may
No.
not have heard about it.
No.
Anyway.
I've heard of it. Yes.
You've heard of it. Okay. It's made by Level 5s, the guys that do Yokai Watch. So last year, a year and a half ago, they came out with a 3DS game called The Snack World. Awesome. Online multiplayer, access to DLC. It was a very cool thing. They had NFC reader-writer toys that acted like Amiibo that you tap in and get weapons and cool items. And they sold that merchandise like Amiibo. It was great. Brilliant for Japan. And then, not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, they released the exact same game with all the DLC included on Nintendo Switch. It was a beautiful thing. So getting this dual release on Nintendo 3DS and Nintendo Switch is a beautiful thing. I mean, we're going to get that with Captain Toad, aren't we?
Yep. Yes.
We're going to get... So, like, if they can somehow do that, I don't know how cost effective that is. If they're, putting in the work of, programming it for 3DS, programming it, and then marketing and then manufacturing. I don't know how cost effective that's going to be, but I would love to see something like that going forward.
So so you'd like to see more kind of double platforms?
I would, especially for those of you guys who can't afford a Nintendo Switch. My parents won't let me buy one. I only have a 2DS. But at the same time, it's different limitations. Like, I don't want my full retail game that I paid $60 for to be limited because it's the exact same game as what this little 3DS cartridge is. I don't want that. Yeah. So if they can somehow figure out a way of, maybe putting exclusive stuff on the 3DS version, exclusive stuffs on the Switch version, maybe if you own both of them, unlock something different, something like that.
Sounds like Smash 4.
Really cool. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think the reality is that we, again, come at me, bro. But I do feel like we have to have the reality is that the 3DS will exist in Nintendo's infrastructure for a while, and eventually it will phase out, right? But you are not pulling the leg off the table right now. Because here's the thing. Here's how it works, people. And we're gonna have a little bit of fireside dad chat. It's making money.
That's right.
Yeah.
As long as it makes money, which, by the way, every time they put out a variant skin, the Minecraft skin, the Animal Crossing one, whatever it is,
skin.
The Hylian shield that everybody's freaking out about right now.
Guess what? People buy it, and if they buy it, they make money, and if they have money, they can employ more people to make games for your Nintendo Switch.
Here's a shameless plug.
That's
we
right.
have an unboxing of the Hylian shield on YouTube. Go check it out.
I did see that.
Yeah, aren't we? And we're also giving one of those away, right?
We are going to give one away too. So
look, we're just feeding the fire.
It's my rant.
And then here's
the deal, Justin. To talk about what you said earlier, I'm excited for WarioWare. I'm excited for Luigi's Mansion. Anything past that, I'm not sure. Like, I mean, honestly, like they showed off the Bowser's Inside Story remake, and I loved that. Was my favorite Super Mario, Mario and Luigi RPG on the DS. I'm not in for that one. I'm sorry. Like, I just like the logistics of it. I just don't play my 3DS as much now. But my love for Luigi's Mansion is so that I like if they put that on the Commodore 64, I would buy that. Like, I would find it. Like, just because we need more Luigi's Mansion. Like, I want that communicated to Nintendo. Yeah. Can please, for the love of God, continue the franchise.
Did you play the arcade? Did you play the arcade Luigi's Mansion?
Yeah, we've got a video up on our channel of my son playing it as I'm helping him in the arcade. And that's like, he loves, like, Luigi is his favorite Nintendo character of all time. And so he saw that and was flipping out. So I was like, go play it. I'll film you,
that's cool.
I desperately want a Luigi's Mansion 3 for the Switch. Now, I did say in the chat here, I said, who's with me? Let the 3DS live. And of course, we have fantastic people watching us on YouTube right now. We got our chat going on. Adam says, I want Luigi's Mansion on both. Give it to me on my Switch too. Awesome point.
Yeah.
Tyrant says the Luigi's Mansion remake should have been a dual release. So talking a little bit of what you were saying, Abdallah. YBS says, I love my 3DS so much, but I feel its time is up. I already have there's so many great games on it, enough for a lifetime, and the Switch needs more games, so I feel that we should focus on Switch. BWA says, Christina and I were just talking earlier about how we love our 3DSs more than our Switches because the games are more fun to play, but we play our Switches more because those games are newer. That's an interesting statement.
Wow, yeah. I feel like we could dive into that for a while, but we must soldier
Thank
on.
you. Yeah.
Man,
absolutely.
that's some great feedback. Thank you, guys.
So, Justin, speaking of games coming out for 3DSs, did you hear about the new Picross game coming out?
Moving on. Nobody cares about Picross.
But it's Hello Kitty.
Sanrio and Picross.
Oh wow, Picross, dude.
Yeah. Jesse's fired up about that one. He's already pre-ordered it.
I haven't, but I'm getting it.
But he could. What else we got in the docket there?
Also, Nintendo confirmed this week new characters for Mario Tennis Aces, Diddy Kong, Birdo, Paratroopa. I don't think this game is a surprise to anyone. These had already been data mined out.
Come on, that's the thing, though, man. Oh, it's so.
But now it's official. Official, and I believe that you will get these not by winning, but by participating in upcoming tournaments, and they will announce times for those. And you will get those by playing in those, which is cool. I think that's a good way to do DLC. I'm going to be honest with you, though. After playing Mario Tennis for, about a week or two, I love the mechanics of this game, but I need another mode. Like, I need something more. Like, you know how they introduced ARMS, or they introduced Splatoon, and they added to it over time. This game needs that.
Abdallah, who's now holding for those of you who are on our podcast, we're holding a Mario Tennis Aces Christmas ornament.
This is a Mario Tennis tennis ball that Nintendo sent me. It's actually branded with the Mario Tennis Aces logo, and on the back it's got the Nintendo Switch logo. It's pretty great.
Cool.
Gets a jacket and tennis balls. What?
Am I right?
Like a minute ago, when I was talking about these characters, you kind of got fired up. So you like Mario Tennis Aces? It seems.
I like Mario Tennis.
Just in general.
I like all the fans that watch my content. You guys know how I feel about Mario Tennis. So for those of you guys that don't, I mean, Mario Tennis Aces it's a decent game. I feel that it's fun. The gameplay mechanics are spot on. Beautiful. You come over here, you want to do a 1v1 short game? Let's do it. It's great. Slowing down time, the new mechanics of zone shots, trick shots, etc., etc. Beautiful. But then at the same time, what else is there? There's really nothing else. And I felt that, Camelot really had to make up for what they did on Wii U to the customers that bought the $50, $60 game on Nintendo Wii U. That was really just almost a tech demo. There was just the gameplay mode, and that's it. And they really had to make up for that. And I wanted them to succeed so bad with it. But in the end, I felt that it felt a little flatter than a flat shot.
There, nice. So let me ask you this then about these characters, right? And obviously Koopa Troopa is a great example. Koopa Troopa was announced for July, Blooper is August. You go on to the online tournament, you play one match, Koopa Troopa is available for you. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's literally just log in essentially. Do you, and I watched your stream about your completion of 100% every level, every game, hoping for the title card, nothing changes. Would you have preferred these characters to be as not trophies, but as rewards for the efforts? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that the people at the round table of Camelot and Nintendo discussions, I think they couldn't make up their mind on that. So they're just like, all right, well, all these characters are, in the game in some way, shape, or form. If you play through the one-player story mode, you've got characters like Koopa Troopa, you got Dry Bones, you've got Blooper, Kamek, Boom Boom, Shy Guy. There's so many characters in the game that have their own stats, they have their own everything. They're complete about them. So, but Nintendo or Camelot's like, well, how are we gonna, should we not overwhelm everyone with like a huge roster at the beginning? Like, how do we go about spreading them over here? And I feel that someone's just like, all right, well, let's take a note from Splatoon for example. You know how Splatoon had like monthly updates of here's a new weapon, try it out. Here's a new level, try it out. And a lot of people felt that Splatoon was an incomplete game, and it got a lot of negative criticism because of that. So I felt that they just like, all right, well, let's do what Splatoon did and give you a character every month. Like you said, I would have loved it if they were just unlockable characters. Like you do this and this and this, and then you'll get this character. So there's a sense of achievement. But I feel that, you know, just the whole infrastructure of the game was just, I don't know, they didn't score a service ace with me. I don't know. I don't know.
Insert tennis pun
here. I love the fact that in this one they tried to bring the single player campaign back. You know, they have a story and I mean, like, it looks great. The game sounds great. It looks great. Like you said, the play mechanics are fantastic. The first time I'd ever played it, not single player, I played the other day with my son, and even though, and I'm not great at tennis, but he's never played it, and he was like, he quickly picked up on like how to block shots and how to, you know, use his powers and things like that. And like, I love that it was like quick to jump into, right? And he was like, he taught my wife how to play swing mode, you know, and do that. And he's really enjoying that. So like, I enjoy it for that, but I just feel like I got it on that Friday that it came out, and I felt like by the end of the weekend I had already found everything, even though I hadn't completed the single player campaign. It's like there's nothing more coming. Like there's some single players and there's online tournaments, and that's like the focus of this game really going forward is play it online. Right?
Yeah.
Or play it in party mode.
Right. Even then, so like online it's a big joke. There's like people's internet connections, people on hotel internet. We joke on my YouTube channel for that. If they have bad internet, you can see how many bars of ping they have, and then you can choose to accept the match or not, which is great. That way you can not have a laggy match. But sometimes when you choose someone with 5 bars of ping, which is perfect, you know, that match can turn into a 1 bar of ping. And, you know, in a game where you have high stakes in a tournament mode where you want to win a tournament and you're in this tournament matchup and you accepted a 5 bar ping match and it turns into a 1 bar ping and they end up scoring points on you and you end up losing it feels deflating. Like the Nintendo online service can't come soon enough. Like, I really hope that they really just tweak that and get it going. But like
honestly,
you said,
don't know that it's going to fix anything.
Exactly. You don't know if it's going to fix anything.
And that's the part that worries me.
Right. And like you were saying, it's you felt like you've done everything other than online play. And if online play is just a bunch of laggy matches, or since there are 2 characters in the game that are super overpowered, everyone's choosing those characters. And if you decide to play as one of those characters, either no one accepts your match because they keep on skipping you because they don't want to play it, or you're just out of luck. You know, online play just needs a rehaul. They need to balance the characters. They need to figure out the online, just the connectivity issues. And, you know, I may feel like I may come off like I'm really like knocking the game. I love Mario Tennis. I just wish they put like a lot more time into it. Like, push the game back and just delay the release.
I think the disappointment of it is that after Ultra Smash was so bad, that, like, leading up to this, it looked so good, right? Like, it was like, yes, they're finally going to do it. They're finally going to restore Mario Tennis to its glory or whatever. And all these people who love this franchise are going to be, or this, you know, this part of the franchise are going to get their redemption. And then it's like, you are, but maybe only like 85%. 85% redeemed.
It actually gave me a little bit of an odd pause, because it made me think, okay, so if we had this negative feedback from Ultra Smash, we're having a refresh or another kick at the cat, so to say, right? Give it another shot. Right. What does this mean for other games like Mario Party, which we knew did not do well, had a bit of a challenge, you know, and they're trying to, you know, refresh it and revamp it? Are we going to see those half steps and half measures there too? So it actually gave me like a little bit of pause about maybe. Are they hearing the feedback about some of these other game franchises and actually fully fixing it? Abdullah, what do you think?
That's a tough one. Oh my gosh, that's such a tough one. It's like, I feel that, I don't know, is it Nintendo management from up top that just, you know, do they not have a checklist of saying, okay, we have all these amiibo, right? We have all these amiibo at our disposal. Here's the checklist, a standard, all right? Does this game have amiibo support? You know, did you check mark the box for Mario Tennis Aces? No, you didn't. Okay, so go back to the drawing board and figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, no one's at the top making these decisions. Like, okay, is there a reward for, you know, completing the game 100%? Okay, you left the checkbox blank. Okay, so go back and fix it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? No one's doing that. And it's just it's really sad. So like you said, I mean, is it Camelot? Is it all Camelot for doing that? Like I've played every single Mario Tennis game, and to date, the second Mario Tennis game that came out, which was on Game Boy, is by far the best. The best one. Have you guys ever played that or heard of it at all?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I've heard of it, but never played it.
It's the one that came out after Mario Tennis 64. And get this, it was on Game Boy. You had a create a character. You can pick a small kid or a big guy, right? And then it was an RPG mode, kind of like what Camelot attempted to do in Mario Tennis Aces, but it was more fleshed out. You can pick and choose if you want to spend your points into power, into spin, into speed, into technique. And you would play through this all awesome tutorial mode. It was so good. And then at the end of the game, you fought the real Mario characters, Mario, Peach, all of them. And then, not only that, they had the ability to connect your character into Mario Tennis 64 via the transfer pack. What? So you can play your character that you spent all this time building up with perfect stats or whatever against the real characters on N64.
That's
and
awesome.
You can do it. You get a trophy ceremony if you beat the actual one-player mode. You get their name on board. It's just the coolest thing. But yet, Camelot doesn't go back to their roots and find out, you know, what was so amazing about that. And they're just like shortcutting it. And I feel really passionate about it that like no one's double checking their work. You know what I mean? I felt like Nintendo's like, all right, well, we trust you. Go ahead and do it. And, you know, just release it and kind of get it out there for the summer release.
Yeah, I actually like your analogy there of like this checklist, right? Because I can almost envision that checklist in front of me of also like, do you have a strategy for bringing players back? Well, yes, we do. We have characters we're going to roll out later. Okay, check mark, perfect.
Right.
Do you have online play? We do. Check mark, perfect. Right. Okay, well, then those are great, right? But it's kind of like, well, let's now push into, you know, do you have 2-player play? Well, yes, we do. Okay, well, let's push into that now. Let's talk more about that, right? I mean, a great example. I mentioned it recently on our review of it. I saw Marty online playing Mario Tennis. I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump on and play Mario or play Marty in tennis. I could not connect with him. Like, it should be, there's Marty. He's a bouncing like tennis ball on the screen. Do you want to play with Marty? Right? Like, it wasn't arms and connect and boom, you're off playing. And yet it's the most convoluted. Let's create a room and here's this. And it's like this. It should not be done this way. And I think you and I talked about it in the pre-show as well. The ideas were there, the frame was there, but the attention to detail, the love, and what I would call the Nintendo magic was not there.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. Wholeheartedly.
It kind of felt phoned in.
Do you think at all that they're going to do any patches in the back end to try and fix some of these things as feedback, or do you think it's done and dusted?
They already have. They put out a one update so far with some sort of character balances, text fix, you know, standard stuff, you know, just whatever, ride home. The fact that they're actually putting their foot forward with that, Am I going to have my hopes up that they're going to add in award ceremonies? Are they going to give us star characters? Are they going to allow us to play more than just either a tiebreaker match or like one set? What I mean, come on, it's tennis. What if you want to play 2 sets, 3 sets, you know, 6 sets? Like, how do you mess that up? It's like, come on, man.
I feel like it's gonna be pretty much like the Kirby updates, right? Where maybe it's a patch balance here or there. Here's a new character, but I don't feel like we're gonna see them go back and say like, we're gonna add a new mode. We're gonna really drastically update the infrastructure, change things.
They're going to have to patch Boo and Bowser Jr. or it's going to become unplayable.
Why do you say that?
That's true. I mean, that's what it is.
Because it's like when you get online, it's pretty much all Boo and Bowser Jr.
Yeah.
Boo is one of the hardest characters to play against.
Yeah.
Right now, and like he said, you know, if you get online and you either play against those characters or you play those characters and everybody skips you because they don't want to play against those characters. So you've either got to bump up everyone else or you've got to nerf Boo, you've got to nerf Bowser Jr. because I guess it's their what is the shot that they make with the B button?
The slice. Well, I mean,
the slice is ridiculous.
Boo is not that top tier, but I mean the real top tier culprits right now are Bowser Jr., like you said, and then Waluigi. That's just it. They're defensive play styles, and in the game of Mario Tennis,
well, they can't nerf Waluigi. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they gotta give Waluigi something.
Yeah,
Okay.
like
Yeah, they
in
got
this
to. I mean,
entire
let's
game.
let him have something. He can have his
Right.
tennis.
Okay, let him be there. But like in the entire game, you don't need the speed stat at all because all these
Right,
characters can do a trick shot to jump all the way across court and then get that ball. So all of your speed characters like Yoshi, Toad, they're bottom tier because
They're
you don't
useless.
need speed. Yeah, they're useless. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
That was a
Speaking
rabbit
of
hole.
useless, let's move on to this news right here.
We could talk for hours. I'll talk for hours about Mario Tennis Aces, man.
I don't know if you guys knew this, but a live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie is in development, which is I believe one of the 7 seals of the apocalypse that was written about in the Bible. This is like one of those seals getting broken. There shall come to pass a live action Sonic movie, and Jim Carrey may be playing Dr. Robotnik. I don't even like. I can't even.
I don't
Like,
even know what to think.
say.
Is this going to be one of those movies that is so bad it's good?
I don't even know what what do you say about this news?
Is this going to be like CGI and then Jim Carrey's just going to voice him?
I heard it's real. I heard it's a live action.
Yeah, he's gonna be dressed like Robotnik. This is
Well, how are they going to do Sonic?
Who's the actor they've got? They've actually got an actor already tied to it too.
See, Abdallah, look, there are people in the Sonic fan fiction community who have fantasized about this moment for years.
Oh yeah, is that right?
And this is bad.
Now is their time to shine.
I imagine this set looks similar to like an Avengers set where there is 75% mocap suits.
No, I'm sorry that like you just like the picture I got in my mind was like New York City in rubble, and Sonic like in like big tall muscular guy dressed as I'm Sonic the Hedgehog.
No, I'm talking about like the actors would be in mocap suits more than normal.
Oh sure,
costumes.
Yeah,
like have you seen like Hulk and Spider-Man on their set pic? They look hilarious.
I really don't know how this is going to work.
So they have a couple. I'm actually on the IMDb posting for this. Actually, they have Jim Carrey down as Dr. Robotnik. James Marsden is looking. I believe I heard a rumor earlier that he was tentatively scheduled to be Sonic. Now, for those of you that don't know who James Marsden is, he was the original Cyclops in X-Men.
Oh, I love that guy.
Yeah. So they're.
Yeah, I hate this is happening to him.
he's in Westworld as well. What else has he been in before? Yeah, Westworld. You probably, if you watch Westworld, you're most likely going to see him there right now. But actually, it says they're in pre-production right now. Doesn't say anything that's being animated. But does anyone really even care about Sonic? And like, if you do, go away. I'm just kidding.
No, I want Sonic to be good. You know, like who's that? You know what's a good game though? Sonic Team Racing. Have you guys heard about that? I don't mean to change the subject.
No,
That's actually a pretty cool
do.
game. That's a cool game. I got my hands on it at E3 at the Sega booth, and it was really fun. It was like a different take of Mario Kart, but like a Sonic racer. So that's a cool one. Look forward to it.
I am fine with that. Like, but what I'm not fine with is mocap Dr. Robotnik played by Jim Carrey. I don't know.
But I mean, in all fairness,
to answer your question, my son loves Sonic the Hedgehog,
well,
and that's why we have him in there.
Child.
You know,
I'll probably see this movie just because it is what it is.
And you know, here the honest truth of it is that it can't be as bad as Super Mario Brothers. So, I mean, let's just.
I would say, we've got Detective Pikachu coming out soon, right? So, that's.
Yes.
We kind of laugh at maybe how this is going to be, but it's probably going to be similar, especially from a production perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Justin.
Yeah.
Now that you've moved away from Canada, they've dropped the price of the Switch.
They are jerks.
Canada, Nintendo of Canada dropped the price of the Switch this week by $20, and so now that clocks in at $379.99 Canadian, which is $289 USD. It was originally $399, which was $304 USD. Why the price drop?
To be honest, I don't really know. I believe the Canadian dollar is doing actually a bit stronger against the American dollar in comparison, so that's helped do a little bit of a reduction. You'll see this every once in a while. I don't think it's anything like we need to boost sales, but we need to even out the economics between the dollar exchanges for more likely than anything else. So, yeah. Not a huge shock there, but I mean, I remember we saw the PR release and I was like, oh, price reduction, that's incredible, like $20. It's kind of like, okay, so go take that $20 and go buy an eShop game. Go buy Steam World 2 or something, guys. So
right. Hollow Knight, something like that. Sure.
It's not like I'm going to go back to GameStop and ask my $20 back.
Sure.
There you go. Price
sure. Well, guys, that rounds out our news for the week. How about we talk for just a minute about our guest this week? Shine the community spotlight here on Abdallah for just a minute.
Yeah, I've got a ton of questions, Abdallah.
I'm here for you.
For people who are unaware of your work, let's talk about that, shall we?
Sure. Okay, so I am a YouTube gamer, and I play and promote Nintendo content, a Nintendo brand ambassador here. So Nintendo provides me with review copies. I make sure that I give the best impressions of what I feel, what the games are. I don't do too many reviews, but I do a lot of gameplay walkthroughs. So if there's a brand new game that comes out, I'll be doing a let's play of it, and I think that's a little bit more organic than, typing up a script and talking to you for 8 minutes. So you guys get to see my real feel of me playing through the entire game. So that's kind of what I do. I focus on Nintendo only. All my stuff is family friendly, no swearing, no adult content. So it's a good time. We're nearing almost 500,000 subscribers. So,
which is absolutely fantastic. That is amazing. If you have not already subscribed to the channel, go over and click that bell and the subscribe button, because there's so much amazing content. I think being Nintendo, we're not as big of content creators as you are, but kind of seeing, you watch certain videos and all of a sudden people come up in your feed. You've been in our feed very frequently, and the thing I do love about your comment here is that you can pop in and it's family friendly. Right. Yeah. And you do a great job covering the games. Last weekend, your live stream for Mario Tennis was tremendous, by the way. Jumping in and watching that throughout, that was awesome.
Oh, thanks.
That was, and you can definitely see your passion for it as well. Now you've got a bigger project that you're kind of working on right now, right? For some live streaming and the Octo expansion. How's that going?
Well, yeah, we just finished that off. Octo Expansion was a $20 DLC that you could purchase off of Splatoon 2, and it consists of 80 challenges. There's like different subway lines that you go through, just additional to the main game, and we finished that up. There was a crazy finale that we went through. I don't really want to spoil anything, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and there is a very crazy boss that puts all your skills to the test, and it took me about 7.5 hours live on YouTube in order to beat that test, which is pretty crazy. So like me, I've got a certain level of aptitude with video games because, we've been around the block, but I am not like a Splatoon pro by any means. So I was struggling with this, but with enough determination and hard work and pattern recognition and 500 people in the comments cheering me on live, it was good. We made it. We made it. It was so fun.
Raid Pirate in the chat says your family friendly was put to the test during that stream.
Oh my gosh, yeah. It's fun. It's a fun time because at the same time, like I wanted it to be a blind walkthrough. So I didn't go through and like YouTube all the videos that everyone beat that particular boss with. I wanted it to be my own thing. So it's a little tough, when you're live streaming and you got about 500 plus people, trying to tell you what to do. Yeah. You know what I mean? When it's like I'm like trying to pay attention to you guys in the chat, but at the same time you guys are filling it up with spoilers and you guys are backseat gaming. I'm like, come on, let me just play my game, man. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
So it was so much fun though.
How do you balance that, I guess, as a little bit of, obviously as a brand ambassador creating content, streaming content, but also just for your own enjoyment of a game, right? Like, do you have the ability, and I mean, we kind of suffered this a little bit from review copies as well, but like, how do you parcel that out in your, this is my time versus, and my enjoyment versus the audience that I have, the 500,000 subs that you have who are there to watch you do that. How do you parcel that?
Oh yeah, it's really about viewership, to be honest. I mean, being a variety gamer, those of you guys that are listening and do the same kind of content as me, being a variety gamer is really tough because you have an audience that that maybe wants or likes you for one thing. And then when you stop playing that one thing, they say, where's that one thing at? This is what I came to Abdallah for. There's a good bunch of people that are like that. Like a Pokemon audience. Like, how come you're not playing Pokemon? Or like, I made a really big impact in the Yokai Watch community. When that game first came out, I was like one of the only people supporting the franchise. So we've built a huge following on that. So people are like, well, where's the Yokai Watch content? And being a Nintendo brand ambassador, I take it very seriously. Whereas if they send me a copy of the latest game, I'm going to stop what I'm doing and focus on the Nintendo Commission other than doing side projects. And then, depending on if people like it or not, then I'll continue it. If people don't really like it, maybe the views aren't up, the viewer interactions, comments are really not up, then that's something that I'll write off as, okay, well, we just did a preview of it. Not too many people enjoyed it. So let's focus on things that the majority wants. Right. So it's kind of a rock and a hard place. I mean, if you're a YouTuber that does just Pokemon stuff, then that's going to be an easy ride for you. If you're a YouTuber that just does Fortnite all the time, that's going to be an easy ride. Whereas, doing a variety is a little bit more challenging.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So, and I guess one of the interesting, we talked a little bit about it before, this juxtaposition of like YouTube streamer and Nintendo products, right? Those things sometimes don't necessarily land well together, right? I think we've had conversations here about Nintendo copyright, right? How does that work for you, and what are maybe some challenges that you struggle with, and how do you overcome, or how do you work around those things?
Yeah, I don't have the magical answer for that. I'll get hit by a copyright claim every now and then. More recently, YouTube's actually changed the entire MCN managed status. If you guys are familiar with what that was, if you have an MCN, my MCN is Broadband TV. They had me under a managed status where if I received any kind of copyright claims, they would kind of deal with them and kind of make them go away and say, hey, trust this guy. He's going to be okay. Everything he's doing is not copyright infringing. So I was under that blanket for a good, 2 or 3 years, and I didn't have to worry about that. But now that that's been eliminated through YouTube, it's going to be a little bit tougher. So I really don't have an answer on, should you be like playing the game and muting the audio so that YouTube doesn't pick up on the Mario jump sound effect, or should you be just not staying away from Nintendo on YouTube entirely? I don't have that answer. It's just, I'm passionate about the product. And I don't know if Nintendo put me on a blacklist so that I don't get hit by that stuff because I'm part of the program. But at the same time, Nintendo does offer the Nintendo Creators Program for all of you guys that might be hit by potential copyright claims, saying, hey, heads up, you can play whatever Nintendo games you want, but we'll take 40% of the YouTube ad revenue. And, that's something. But, case in point, if you're going to be with an MCN anyway, an MCN is already going to take either 30 or 20% of your revenue anyway. You might as well make the MCN Nintendo in that case. So it's I don't have the answer on it, man. I wish I did, but it's kind of a rock and a hard place as well.
The good news for us is 40% of nothing is still nothing. That's how we do it. Let me ask you a little bit about this. You're obviously being a Nintendo fan and focusing on that. Where did that passion come from as a Nintendo fan? Like what was I guess maybe the first game that started that? I can imagine there was this fork in the road moment of either you're going to be a Nintendo fan, an Xbox fan, or a PlayStation fan. And how did you choose this path?
Oh, absolutely. I grew up on Nintendo games, so that was really one of the systems that I had when I was younger. I remember when I was, I think, in preschool, I had a babysitter that had an NES, and I would just kind of sit there and watch the kids play it. I would be like really intimidated. And then they kind of introduced me to it. Hey, this is Mario Bros. This is how you run and this is how you jump. And then ever since then, I've loved the Nintendo product. So jumping from Nintendo to Super Nintendo. And then I also had a Sega at the same time, but I really kind of gravitated towards that Nintendo. And then I remember when I was in middle school and high school, it was the console wars. You guys remember that? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Sega does what Nintendo don't, and PlayStation 1 versus N64, GameCube versus PlayStation 2. Like, I was all through that stuff, and I was just all Nintendo fanboy the entire time. So it was natural that, that's something that I kind of gravitated towards. I felt that the multiplayer aspect, the family friendliness of it, just, the bright characters, the characters that, I've come to grow up with, is just something that kind of stuck with me through the ages.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Excellent. Now we do have a question that came in the chat for you here. And again, guys, if you're in our YouTube chat, feel free to drop a question here for Abdallah, and which is fantastic. YBS says, how hard is it for you to keep up with playing all the newest games while also completing all previously started series?
That's the hardest thing, man. That's the hardest thing. Because it's like, I would start a game like Sushi Strikers, for example. Have you guys tried that one?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool game. It was a little different. So, I put a couple episodes of that, before E3, and then once E3 came, it's just so many things that are coming. That's why, like, in this podcast, I'm like, Nintendo, take your time, push some games back, let me work on playing through some of these games. No, it's probably the biggest struggle, and that's kind of one of the things that I need to work on personally is, if I got a series, I don't necessarily want to just stop playing it. Yeah. But, at the same time, if no one's watching it and, there are other games that are a little bit more appealing to me personally and my audience, I'm naturally going to gravitate towards that.
Yeah, for sure. I had a question and it just zipped right out of my brain. Marty, what questions do you have?
So I guess for me is like I work a full-time job, right?
Yeah.
And we do videos, of course, here for Nintendo Dads. And just like a lot of my thoughts go to, I'm working full time, I'm doing this, but I'm also maintaining a family. With you having such a presence and having such a following, how do you maintain boundaries? Because and not feel like you're just playing games constantly, right? Because you've already kind of talked about the pull between I need to play this for the channel, but I want to play this. So how do you manage?
Oh man, managing time has been a struggle over these years. I mean, I used to work a full-time retail management job for 12 and a half years. And I balanced the last maybe 4 years of that working full-time retail management, 13, 14 hours a day, and then working on my YouTube channel at the same time. So I would try to sneak in maybe like 1 or 2 episodes before I'd go to work. And then maybe on my day off, I would spend all day recording and then just mass like scheduling it out so that my audience can enjoy something every day. But then at the same time, juggling that with a married life. My wife is, she's been very patient with me. And sometimes, it's really rough because I'm like, all right, Jess, I'm going to build this and it's going to be amazing. And this is going to be my career. You just watch. But at the same time, it's like, well, pay attention to me. And, you do have this 14-hour-a-day job that you have to work. So when is this going to happen? So, with patience and just managing your time properly, I was able to figure it out. And nowadays, I've been away from my full-time retail management job for about almost 2 years now. And it's really all about, just waking up in the morning, doing a little bit of exercise and just kind of setting that boundary of, hey, treat it like a 9-to-5 job. And, just go from 9, go to 5. And, sometimes there's going to be news breaks that happen, like a midnight release of, what is that, Legend of Zelda DLC, Ballad of Champions, that just came out of nowhere, right? Or there's going to be a release of a brand new Pokemon game like Pokemon Quest for free on Nintendo Switch that just dropped out of nowhere. So, of course, there's going to be longer days. But trying to keep it to like a 9-to-5 right now is really the balance that I'm kind of working at. And, of course, you guys inviting me on for a podcast, got to stay up a little bit later to take care of you guys too.
Sure.
So.
Which we appreciate you being here as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely.
my pleasure.
That's fantastic. A little bit of a troll comment here, of course, because Mr. Josh Thomas is in here. But what do you think?
Man.
Why is Pikmin 4 or Animal Crossing not out yet?
I don't know. Did you like Hey Pikmin? Did you guys enjoy Hey Pikmin?
I thought it was all right. I thought it was I think it was a good Pikmin for young family, new kids kind
fair.
of wear. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a real big Chibi Robo vibe off of that, and I didn't think it was the best that it could be.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Pikmin 3 was amazing. I love that one.
Yeah,
Pikmin 1 and 2 are just so good. So I think that it maybe won't come out this year, but I mean next year. Like I said, there's all the heavy hitters are like the cards are on the table right now. Smash and the new Pokemon game. The cards are on the table. I'm thinking that next year is most likely the time when they've run out of these cards. They're like, all right, what are we going to bust out? Next generation of Pokemon. We got to bust out Fire Emblem. And then, boom, maybe drop the Pikmin bomb then. So then at the same time, Animal Crossing, like, I don't know, man, everyone's asking for that. But, like, Animal Pocket. Have you guys played Pocket Camp?
Yes.
on the mobile
Yeah.
phone? Yeah. How long have you guys played that?
We played it for a couple of weeks.
It lasted about 3 weeks.
My kids were
at my
really
house.
more into it than I was.
Right.
Like perfect for the young kids. What about yourself?
I played it for about I think I played it for a month, and then I'm like, this is too bare basics for me. So like I had to drop out. It wasn't enough. It wasn't
super
Animal Crossing.
grindy.
Yeah.
It was just like
I every once in a while hope I go back into it and like the zombie apocalypse has happened. And it looks like, Fear the Walking Dead, but in Animal Crossing. That's what I'm hoping. And then I'm like, now I'm all in. Now I want to see, couldn't Tom Nook
that is the
survive?
natural progression of the series.
Yes.
Right.
Tom Nook creates the zombie apocalypse, and you have to pay him for the cure.
Yep.
So you're raising money while avoiding the remains of that squirrel Slappy or whatever.
Exactly.
Right. No, I mean, trust me, like Animal Crossing, I love Animal Crossing as much as the next guy. Like Animal Crossing New Leaf, best one in the franchise. So good. I did a full Let's Play of that on my channel. It was absolutely outstanding. I want one for Nintendo Switch. They have all the assets.
Yep.
They've got the assets, the 3D models they made from the Wii U game. Or Animal Crossing, what is that? Amiibo Festival. They have all the assets. The assets are there.
Yeah.
The assets are sitting there, and it's just now is not the time. And I think that it's going to happen. And when it does happen, trust me, people will buy Nintendo Switches for it. Everyone's going to get it because that's going to be the next best thing. Maybe when the Smash hype kind of, secedes a little bit, that's when it's the perfect time. And like you said earlier, it's, Nintendo can drop this news at any given moment. They're not ready for it right now, but when they are, boom, it's going to happen. And then everyone's going to be like, all right, cool. Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Right.
Couple of questions, if it's all right. You said you're obviously at E3. You mentioned some of playing Smash. Anything else from E3 that really stood out for you that you're excited about in either 2018 or 2019? It was interesting enough. We had two different guests on the last couple of weeks. Both of them had played Starlink, and both of them have completely different opinions of it. I'd be interested in understanding kind of maybe where you sat on that as well.
All right. Yeah, I'll give you two. All right. So here's Starlink. I got some nice behind the scenes footage with Ubisoft. They were nice enough to provide that. I got a video that I got to edit together. Starlink's cool. It's very interesting. The only reason why I was brought into it is because of Star Fox.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I can be saying that for like a lot more of the people on board. Oh, Star Fox is in a new game that isn't Star Fox Zero? All right, cool. I'm in. So Starlink seems like really, really good. It's another Toys to Life thing. And you guys know how Toys to Life works with whether it be Lego Dimensions, where you have to buy all these little sets and whatnot, or if it's simply Amiibo, you're going to have to spend a little bit more money, like $80-$90 for these starter kits. The game was actually kind of fun. It felt like the Star Fox game that we didn't get. It felt like open world Star Fox, where you can pick and choose, your little R-wing pieces, your armor. If this enemy over here is weak against ice, you'll take off your little in real life toy cannon. You'll put the ice cannon on, and you'll start attacking him from there. It's a really cool concept, and I'm going to be very excited for it. So Starlink sounded great. It sounds really, really great, and it has a lot of promise to it. So I'm hoping that it is, although it's not branded as Star Fox, I'm hoping that it will deliver the Star Fox experience that we didn't get on Nintendo Wii U. That's my one. My one. All right. So number two, this was kind of low key. You guys know Level 5, right? Yokai Watch, Inazuma 11. So I scored an awesome interview with one of the reps that work at Level 5. They didn't have a booth. They didn't have anything. They were just kind of walking the floor. So I'm more excited about the entire Yokai Watch franchise. And I can't go into too much detail about what's in store, but like every Yokai Watch fan out there is waiting with bated breath about the localization of Yokai Watch 3 or other games that the Japanese audience has already. And they're working on, bringing on board. So you guys mentioned earlier that Yokai Watch Blasters is going to be coming out for Nintendo 3DS. And that's what I'm really, really excited for. The fact that we as an audience that is in a country that is more Pokemon dominated can actually show the support for a Pokemon rival, such as Yokai Watch, to be popular enough to warrant Level 5, localizing it, mass producing it, getting it out here to the States. So that's really, really what I'm pumped for.
Nice. Awesome. Some good stuff there.
Oh yeah.
Guys, any other thoughts?
No, the only thing I would ask is get everybody, where can they find you if they haven't connected with you already?
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can simply type Abdallah into the YouTube search bar, and you can find it. Abdallah Smash is my YouTube channel. At Abdallah Nation on Twitter is pretty much where I hang out. So if you look up anything Yokai Watch, you'll most likely find my stuff. If you look up some Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Mario Kart videos, even Pokemon, I do a lot of stuff. So most likely you'll find or stumble across a video of mine somewhere on the YouTube interwebs.
Yes. Yeah, and I think and what I would say to all of our listeners is, we have the opportunity to connect with a lot of fantastic YouTube content creators, and especially when we can find someone who is family friendly like this. I think you definitely need to click on Abdallah's stuff. It's fantastic work. You need to tell the passion, and it's really great. And I think this, if you've added to your list shows like Game Explain and our show, I think Abdallah is definitely one that you need to be clicking on and watching, because it is absolutely amazing. And also, you are less than 1,000 subscribers away from 500,000.
Yeah, very
which
close.
Is absolutely incredible. So guys, go click that button. Let's help him get to over the 500,000 mark, and that would be fantastic. Now, Abdallah, if you want to send any of those people over to our channel, 500,000 over to our channel, that would be great.
Absolutely. Yeah, I retweeted it out. So
really hoping to get over 2,000. That's what we're hoping.
You guys will get it. Absolutely. Yeah, let's do this again sometime, and we'll absolutely bring some more people on board to take a look and subscribe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We'll have to connect with you at one of the events that we'll be at the same time as you. There's hopes that we're going to be at E3 next year, or at PAX West or East coming up in the near futures as well. So we'll have to make sure that we connect to any of those events, which is great.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But before you go, let's take a little dip into what we've been playing, shall we?
Do it.
And Abdallah, one of our traditions here on the Nintendo Dads podcast is that we always begin with our guests and ask what you have been playing. So what have you been playing lately?
What have I been playing lately? That's a really good one. Mario Tennis Aces, I've been playing that. Had some fun time about that, but you guys heard it all in the podcast. There's no more left to be said about that. Octo Expansion we finished off, and more recently I've been playing a little bit more grinding in the Snack World on Nintendo Switch, and I really want a lot more people to get on board with that one, even though it's a Japanese exclusive on Nintendo Switch right now. The Snack World, it's absolutely good. Get yourself a Japanese eShop account. Get yourself a Japanese eShop card that you can purchase online for whatever, 50, 60 bucks in whatever equivalent of yen, and download it because it's absolutely amazing. Think Monster Hunter. Oh yeah, think Monster Hunter. Think Fantasy Life. If you guys ever played that on Nintendo 3DS. Yeah. You can even think Yokai Watch. It's so cool. You can get 4 people into a quest, get your people together, and then you go on this quest and you go defeating enemies and knocking out enemies and bosses, and then at the end you get some spoils. And with the spoils you get very cool armor, some new weapons, your weapons level up. It's a very cool interactive RPG that I'm really hoping gets localized. So it's Japanese only, so yes, there's a language barrier, but you can inference your way around it if you're pretty good at navigating menus. But it's an absolute gem. It's a very, 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 very good game.
This looks really cool. Yeah.
So for people who might be interested in it, are they going to need to know Japanese?
They will not need to know Japanese at all. The only thing that is a barrier is setting up the Japanese eShop account, which is a little tricky.
Sure.
I mean, but it's free though. You can do it for absolutely free if you get the right tutorial for it. And then at the same time, the struggle is finding either an international credit card that you can use on the Japanese eShop, or simply visiting a site where you can purchase Nintendo eShop credits in Japan to use in order to purchase the game. But other than that, once you get past those initial hurdles and you get the game download on your Nintendo Switch, you don't need to know Japanese at all. You can just kind of menu your way, just clicking through. Level 5 is amazing about that because they'll have a little arrow pointing on where you need to go. So you just follow the arrow, talk to some people, skip through some text, and you go from there. And you guys can always check out my Let's Play videos on how to play that stuff anyway. So that's why I do it too. So.
Yeah, this definitely feels like something's got to be localized here. This looks great.
Oh, it's an amazing game.
That's fantastic. Nice.
I love anything Level 5 does. I mean, just their their visual style and kind of their sense of humor, and it's fantastic.
Oh, good. Yep.
Awesome. Well, what about you, Justin? What have you been playing?
I have been working my way through playing more and more of Mario Tennis. Just put up my review or my thoughts, I guess would be the words I would say, on our YouTube channel, so you can check that out. Working through that. But we also got a copy of Runbow for the Nintendo Switch from our good friends over at 13 AM Games, and I've had an opportunity to play it, and I loved Runbow on the Wii U. I thought it was a fantastic game, a really great party game. This feels much more at home on the Nintendo Switch, just with the Switch being the kind of party console. Here, break off a Joy-Con and play. Multiplayer madness with a fantastic single-player fun. Quick matches in and out, good challenges, good achievements. There's the kind of the trial of, got to push a little bit further, one more level.
Yeah.
I love it. We did an interview with these guys 4 years ago when they had just released it for the Wii U, and you could tell the excitement for it and the passion. And it's such a good game. If you're looking for a good, Nintendo Switch isn't thin on party games, but it's a lot of fun. I love the fact that you can play 8 players. Is it 8 or 10? I think it's 8 players on this one.
Sure.
And you got a strong online function. It's just a great fun party game with a great solid first player, one player adventure mode built into it. There's a ton of indie characters in there. Shovel Knight's in there. Shantae's in there. It's just it's so awesome. So I would definitely check out Runbow for the Nintendo Switch. And then one other game I've been playing I want to highlight is Miles and Kilo. And Miles and Kilo that just came out from 4 Horses and Games came out on this Thursday. Runbow came out on Tuesday. This is it's a sequel to Kid Trip, and I get vibes of Super Mario World. I get vibes of Adventure Island, and it is a really cool. The levels are short, like 30 seconds. And you kind of run through, and you've got to try and collect your fruit, and you've got to try and not die. It's got Super Meat Boy or Celeste-esque elements in that you die and you jump back in instantly. It's endless lives. It's all about completing the level as quick as possible. It's not an endless runner or an automatic runner until you find Kilo, which is your dog. And the moment you grab him, it becomes an automatic runner. So it's got elements of being automatic runner or endless runners, and then just kind of your normal adventure levels. It's a really great 16-bit art style. It's a ton of fun. It's quick jump in, jump out gameplay. It's very accessible for kids, by the way, again, because you have endless lives. It's not as kind of frustrating as I think you would see some games like Super Meat Boy, or potentially the further you get into Celeste. But it is really a really cool game you should pick up. I'm having a ton of fun with it, which is great. And again, beautiful art style, good sound quality, good music, just a ton of fun, right? So I'd recommend those 2 games for you to pick up.
Awesome. Jesse, what about you? What have you been playing?
Okay, so I recently found a Discord channel of local Pokemon Go players in my area. So I'm now able to participate in raids that I thought I've never been able to participate in before. And so over the weekend, it was the 4th of July morning. We did a Regice raid, and I caught my first Regice with it, and I took a screenshot of the experience I got. So for finishing like a level 5 raid, you get 20,000 XP. I had a lucky egg running, so that was double. Then once you're done with the fighting, you try to capture it, and this is actually the 3rd time I've tried to capture one of these. The first 2 failed. This time it did capture on the first throw, and it happened to have been on a 7-day streak, and with my lucky egg still running, so I got Pokemon caught, new Pokemon, first catch of the day, streak bonus, nice throw, curveball, first throw, for a total of 17,000 XP.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay, I like this. Raiding is fun.
Cool.
So I'm going to try to do more of that. So apparently there's multiple events going on this weekend. One's like Squirtle's going to be spawning a lot, and if you can catch enough to evolve it into a Blastoise within the 3-hour time frame, it'll have an exclusive move that isn't available anywhere else. Anyway, so
Ooh.
I'll be doing that this weekend. Okay. Was someone going to ask something? Or
No, we're just saying that sounds awesome. Nice.
That does
Okay.
sound cool.
Okay, then I think I finished my playthrough of the Mario and Rabbids DLC. While I didn't 100% everything, I think I got my fill. I think I finished the story, which unlocked challenge levels, and I think I got all of them except for 2 or 3 done. And if I could finish those, it unlocks like ultra challenge stages. And I remember I unlocked them in the original main game and never finished any of them. So I'm like, I'm okay for if I don't ever unlock these, because I probably wouldn't beat them anyway. So it's fun, you know. I think last week I kind of jabbed a little fun saying that this didn't take long, but that's just to go through the story mode. The time it took me to play through the challenge levels and to unlock and to find every puzzle piece and to unlock all the weapons probably was like another double of what I already had played. So overall, it was I would guess maybe 10 to 12 hours for my $15 of DLC. So yeah, I think I got my money's worth for that.
Nice. Cool.
Okay. Then last game I'll talk about real quick. I started a live stream of Final Fantasy II last night. I played it for about an hour and a half. And this is the Game Boy Advance version. So like the first time Final Fantasy II was officially released in North America. And that game, I had played the game before. I rented the cartridge from GameFly back in the day, and I got to the final boss. But since the way that the progression works is they don't do normal experience points to level up to get stats boosts like normal games, at least, you know, normal games of this era. But the more you use your sword, the stronger your sword ability becomes. The more you cast Cure, the better the Cure ability becomes. So I ended up stuck at a point where I needed to increase my spell defense, but I've never used that spell before. So it was level 1, so it didn't do anything. So I would do damage to the boss. The boss then does a life tap attack against me. I wouldn't die, but he fully heals himself, and we're just in this limbo now.
Jerks.
So if if I continue to play this, I know now I need to work on those defensive spells.
There you go.
So,
Nice.
There you go.
So I don't know if I'm probably not going to stream the entire game, but I streamed the first bit, and one thing I noticed kind of ranks in the area of poor map design. I think because in Pokemon games, they literally block off areas that you shouldn't be at until you do something specific to earn the right to it. Which that's more handholdy, but it's better than this alternative where they don't want you in this area. There'll be no physical markings showing you that you're not supposed to be here yet, but they'll put ogres or other high-level monsters that'll hit you for 300, and you only have 50 hit points. So I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to be here yet. Thank you, game.
Good incentive not to be there.
The advantage is you can save anywhere. You don't have to save like in a church or at least anywhere outside. But the first time I died, I didn't save anywhere yet, so I played like 20 minutes, talking to everyone in every room just to get the information, and then I died, and then I had to start over, and I burned through the same content in like 2.5 minutes because I didn't talk to anybody because it didn't earn me anything. I only had to talk to who I needed to talk to.
Gotcha.
So
Gotcha. Awesome.
That's what I've been playing.
Cool. Well, I've been playing the re-release of The Blob on Switch. This was a review copy that was provided for us. If you remember back to the Wii era of games, The Blob came out on the Wii and then was ported over to Xbox and PlayStation later on and given less waggly controls. And this version reflects that. There's absolutely no motion control in this version of the Blob, and it's exactly what you can expect. If you've ever played this game, then you know what you're getting on the front end. There's not really been a remaster or a graphical upgrade or anything like that. It's just a game that probably some people have not played before. I have noticed that it does stutter a little bit in the cinematics on the Switch, which I don't understand why, other than it's probably just a bug or something that they didn't work out. I mean, it's not that it can't handle it or anything. But for those of you who haven't played, you play in this game, you play the role of the Blob, who can roll over different types of paint and take on that color, and then go and you have to paint different areas of the town because this corporation, this evil inked corporation, has come in and stolen all the color out of the world. Yeah, as they do. And so the biggest it's kind of I wouldn't call it open world adventure, but I mean the stages are pretty open, but they end up being pretty linear as well. You can just go from point A to point B, or you can accomplish challenges along the way that are anything from like destroy these guards to paint all of these buildings in this section red, or find this, or get to here, in a certain period of time. So there is content. If you want to get 100% on each level, you've got to do that, and you've got to paint everything in that level that can be painted, which can be frustrating when you're like, you realize you've left like a road cone behind that you didn't paint. And that's why you got 99%. But like, I say all that to say, I mean, it's a fun game. I mean, it seems like I said this, and we've got a video that's going to go up on our channel about this tomorrow. And I said this in the video that it's kind of like the Bob Ross game for Nintendo Switch. It's like, paint these happy little buildings, go over here and roll over these guys and paint the trees and
make
paint
some happy accidents.
Right. But there is combat, there are bosses, there is a storyline to follow. And so this is up right now in the eShop. I think it's $29.95. I'm not sure. I'm going to end up getting this wrong. But it's out there. Is there a physical copy? Yes, there is. Walmart has a physical copy for $29.99. So yeah, it's out there. You can also download it. But understand you're getting a Wii game. All right, you're getting a Wii game without the waggle. But it's fun enough. And this is, along with some other games, is kind of a re-release THQ Nordic is doing. I think Legend of K and a few others are coming out here. So check it out if that kind of thing interests you. I've also been playing Lumines Remastered, which launched last week on the eShop. I loved Lumines on PSP back in the day. I've always kind of had a soft spot for this series because of the mixture of puzzle gaming and music and just the transitions and the way the game looks, and how like every level doesn't just change. Every level you get to doesn't just change the background. It changes the way the pieces look. It changes the way the game is played. And so if you've never played Lumines, basically the way you play is there are blocks dropping down from the top of the screen that have one of two colors. They're arranged in different ways. You can turn them and join them together. And when you make a block of 4 of the same color, it kind of glosses over, and there's a line that is moving from left to right continually on beat, and it clears away those ones that have been glossed over. And you can make big combos, and there's pieces that lets you link individual little pieces away here all together and all that. But fantastic game. It's on the eShop right now, and the good part about this is not a lot of puzzle games out on Switch right now. So this is one you may want to. In fact, like it's like this and Puyo Puyo Tetris, right? For puzzle games.
Yep, that's right.
And yeah, so like you could like
pick a picks.
If you're jonesing for a puzzle game, well, pick a picks. It's either this or Picross or Tetris and Puyo. So yeah, you can get this game right now. Pick it up, $14.99. It's digital. If you're looking for a good distraction, it's one you can just jump in and play. It's also got local 2-player multiplayer. And the coolest part about this game, I just got to say this, is the Joy-Cons. Okay? You want to play this with the Joy-Cons in your hand because the Joy-Cons vibrate in time to the beat of the music. And it changes as you play. Like and there's no way to describe it other than you just need to feel it. And it's a really neat little addition to the game that like kind of draws you in even more. So like I really like it. I think if you're looking for a puzzle game, you're gonna really like this. And then a game I can't really talk about, but I can enough is next week 20XX launches on the Nintendo eShop, and it launches also on PS4 and Xbox One. This is a game that's already launched on Steam. It's sold over 100,000 copies. The only way I know to describe the game is it's like Enter the Gungeon and Binding of Isaac had some weird one-night stand with Mega Man X and made a love child. It's like a...
That's weird.
I would love to hear them put that on their box art.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can have that one for free. All right. It is a roguelike Mega Man game is really what it boils down to. When you start the game, you get your choice of 2 characters. One of them is Nina, who is basically Mega Man X. And then there's Ace, who is basically Zero because he has a sword. The other one has a chargeable weapon. And you get dropped into a tutorial to begin with, but then after that, every time you play the game, you get dropped into a random stage facing a random boss at the end, and you traverse through these very Mega Man X-esque stages where you can wall jump and climb and dash and do all these things, all the while finding power-ups for your character so that you can continue the run longer and longer. And you're earning soul gems or soul credits as you beat the larger enemies that you'll then be able to bring back to base after you die and spend on permanent upgrades like extra heart, extra hit that you can take, or starting battery power might be higher for special weapons. And you like when you beat the bosses, you get a choice. You can get their special weapon, or you can get an AUG, or which is what they call like an item that makes you do better in the game. There's armor that you can find. There's also these rooms that you'll find, which are called glory zones, in which you'll either have to defeat a group of enemies as fast as you can, or run away from a swarm of insects or bats, make it to the end, or turn on all these switches while there's hazards firing all around you. And so it's like with a lot of roguelikes, it's that risk versus reward. How fast do you and how far do you want to push it to upgrade fast, knowing that you might end up getting hurt or not being able to go as far. But everything in this game, the controls are fantastic. I really can't talk about it. We're going to have a video up on the channel next week. All I'm going to say is this. I think you should, if you're a Mega Man fan or a roguelike fan, you need to set aside some money for this game when it launches next Tuesday. It is. It's next Tuesday, July 10th on the Switch. That's 20XX. It's coming from Battery Staple Games and Firehose Games are the ones who are making this. So that's what I've been playing. And that about wraps us up for this show. I was going to ask Justin to throw us to the end here, but he has mysteriously gone away, probably for tea. Oh, there he is.
But before he does, I wanted to do a quick plug. The Kickstarter for the Flip Grip ends, I think, Monday morning, so you have this weekend to check into that if you haven't already done so.
Cool. Awesome. The Flip Grip, which is more, we're saying Nintendo Dad's award for more likely to see the light of day than Atari VCS. Justin, as we wrap up the show here, why don't you tell people where they can find us and how they can interact with us, and go ahead and close us out.
Sure, yeah, absolutely, guys. Big thanks to, of course, everyone for tuning in. You can find us, of course. Did we give Abdallah a chance to kind of say everything else? I stepped away. Sorry.
We did.
Yeah, we're good with that.
Awesome. I was like, uh-oh.
We did earlier at the end of the spotlight segment.
I appreciate it. Okay. Yeah, so guys, you can, of course, find us on all the social medias. That is on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You want to email the show? Absolutely send us an email. That's at nintendodads@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitch at profile is Nintendo Dads. Of course, YouTube. Go over there and click that like, subscribe button as well. We have got videos going up almost every single day. Now, they're not 7-hour streams, but they are videos. So guys, do check those out as well, please. And of course, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, anywhere that you get a podcast. Yes, we are probably there. So you should definitely check us out. Big thanks to OC Remix, who you hear the music throughout the show. And of course, to Carter Johnson and our good friend Adam Leonard for providing us the amazing artwork. I think that's it, Marty. Is there anything else I'm missing?
Well, we want to say huge thanks to Abdallah for being on the show.
Yes, thank you so much for your
taking time out of your day. Man,
it's super late there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Continue.
it's not as late as it is for you.
I have to drive to Dublin now, right now.
There you
Oh
go.
my gosh. So we just want to say thanks for the content you create and continuing to create that family-friendly content that Nintendo dads and their kids can enjoy. And you're welcome on the show anytime, man.
All right. Well, as long as you guys are going to have me, I'll be here for you. So let me know. We'll
Awesome.
chat.
Sounds fantastic.
Awesome. Thanks again for everything. And again, we do want to say thanks to our Patreon producers, Chris Mears, Dave Ernsberger, and Timothy Off for going the extra mile to make the show what it is. And with that, for me, for Justin, for Jesse, and Abdallah, bye-bye.